welcome to 123 Go. It's your boy Jay, and this is actually my first video, so I just want to say welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for checking me out. I do plan to produce a lot more content over time. This has been a fun experience. When I bought my Ryker, I bought the base, the 900 Sport, and then I added all the accessories myself. So I added the windscreen, I added my shad bag, I added my rear comfort seat, as well as my driver comfort seat and backrest, which my helmet is kind of perched up on right now. And I also ordered the BLR tuning radiator protector. So yeah, so it's been fun. I'm looking forward to producing more content. And let me just give you some things that's happened over the last month or so since I've had my bike. So first things first, I knew I had to add the radiator guard. So ordered that after I saw a lot of people talking about it. And what I quickly realized was that I wanted to do some type of customization, but I'm not really too big on doing like a ton of custom work on the bike. I just want to enjoy the ride. I'm not right now interested in speakers and making major modifications to the bike for handling purposes and that sort of thing, because it actually feels fine to me. But I knew I needed the protector for the radiator. It was like my third night riding, and I was on the interstate. I had a passenger on the back and a small plastic container of, I guess, like of antifreeze fell off the back of a truck that was in front of me, but it was dark, it was wet. I was kind of in the rain just a little bit. It was a little drizzly, so I had to make some decisions, and I ended up kind of eating the bucket. It went under my left part of my bike, and it caught the left side of the radiator, and you know, didn't do any damage, thank God, but I thought about it and I said, man, it could be worse. It could have been a rock, a brick, or anything. It could have just tore me all up on my third day driving. So yeah, so I went on ahead and did that. I stayed off the highway. I pretty much kept it on back roads where everything is nice and clear and I can see everything, and it's less cars, so it's less debris coming up, and the radiator guard was pretty cool. So I'm actually gonna insert some video here. So I decided, going back to the customization, I decided that I was going to do an Autobots theme to my bike, and so I had made a stencil on my Cricut machine, and it took me several attempts, as you can see in the video I'm inserting here, and I thought I was doing something. I had my little logo printed on my, spray painted onto my grill, and it just didn't look right to the naked eye. So on camera and on video, everything looks good. Like you can see it, you can clearly see the Autobot logo. The contrasting paint really worked, but when you look at it with the naked eye, just like a blob, you know, and you couldn't really notice anything unless you were like maybe 10, 15, 20 feet away from the bike, and that just kind of took away the aesthetic I was going for. I wanted it to be something where, you know, you're looking at a bike and it's like, okay, this guy's keeping it plain, he's keeping it simple, he's not doing customization, and all of a sudden you look down at the grill and say, oh snap, he got an Autobot. So I've decided I'm gonna take a different approach. So I've ordered something, and hopefully it'll get here by the end of the month, and I'll figure out where I'm gonna mount it. I've got 2 places in mind. I'm not gonna tell you all yet, but looking forward to that, just to give it a little bit of personality, and to align with one of my homeboys down in Atlanta, who's he's on 2 wheels, and all his bikes have been named after Decepticons. So I've got a name for my Autobot. I'm not gonna share it yet till I actually get my emblem on, then I'll release the name. Looking forward to that. Maybe you can guess what it is. So guess down in the comments, and I'll see who gets it right. I'm not giving out any prizes because I haven't got any sponsor money yet. I'm not making any ad money yet. So when that time comes, maybe I can throw a prize out when I do another trivia question. So yeah, so I got the radiator guard, happy about that. Was able to get back on the highway a little bit. Something else that I ended up doing when I got the bike, I ran into a couple issues when I was trying to mount all my accessories and everything. So those of you who are buying the 900 Sport and you've already got the max mount pre-installed, just beware that if you're gonna do something like add the BRP shad bag or anything that's gonna require the max mount to be, you need some wiggle room. You might have to loosen it up and move it around some, and it is really challenging to get those screws to line back up, the bolts to line back up once you take the max mount and release it. So just be careful with that. I did run into some issues. I had a little problem with one of the bolts, or one of the nuts actually fell inside the frame because of how they designed it. And a good neighbor of mine helped me fish it out, and then I took it back to the dealership, and they ended up pulling the whole piece out and welding a whole new setup in there and rethreading it for me. So I was able to get my max mount back on securely. I got one little thing I'm still concerned about, but it's not the end of the world. So be careful with that. There is an order to doing some of these things, so look at that before you start moving things around, because what you don't want to do is move the max mount, put it back, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I got to add something else. I got to move the max mount again. The less you have to move, the better. I purchased a comm system for my helmet, which is really nice. I'll probably do a separate video on this, but I bought one for myself and for my girlfriend, who is my passenger, so we can talk to each other. I installed it myself. I paid about $40 for each one, if I'm not mistaken, on Amazon. I can find a link and put it out there, but I'll do a separate video on this. But this is really cool because when you're moving around, you're driving, you can actually communicate with each other, and I can still activate music, access my phone, things like that. So that's really fun. It's really cool. I went low cost on my helmet, so I got a little built helmet here. Got the little slide down sun visor. Really like that. It's convenient. My jacket is just plain Jane. Ordered a couple on Amazon and figured out which one worked best, fit best, and I stuck with that, sent the other ones back. Kept my gloves simple, but eventually I'll probably upgrade my gloves because the fingertips where the seams are makes it a little bit uncomfortable at times. I did purchase a brake lock. I definitely would encourage you to do that. I've been hearing all the stories about how people are able to start these things up without the actual key fob, and I'm not going to promote what they're using, but it's pretty disturbing. So I purchased one that actually has a built-in alarm on it. If you want the bike, you're going to probably take it, but at least you're going to make a ton of noise when you're doing it, and maybe somebody will see something, say something, or maybe it'll draw my attention or whatever. But it gives you a little peace of mind to know that you've got something like that. Other than that, I've just been keeping it really simple, really practical. Shout out to one of my favorite YouTubers is actually Chip Mitchell. I've been watching a lot of his content. I like some of the practical purchases that you made, so I kind of incorporated that into my setup and how I was approaching things with setting up myself for my rides. A couple of things about the ride. So the 900 Sport, I absolutely love the video and just do a full walk around and just kind of give you my thoughts on some things after about maybe 2 months of riding, 3 months of riding. But so far it's been fun. It's been exhilarating. I've ridden it I'm out here on a little country road. Stopped at a little church and just wanted to watch the sunset over this beautiful, magnificent field over here. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at real quick. I'm just gonna grab the camera and turn it around. This is beautiful, and this is why I love this, my new life on my Ryker. Look at this beautiful sunset out here in North Carolina. I'm just sitting out here and I'm just looking over this field. Exposure's a little bit off, but it's just beautiful out here. It's nice and quiet. I hear the bugs making sounds and stuff like that. I'm probably about 20 miles away from my house right now. So yeah, so that's why I want the Ryker. I've always enjoyed this planet that we're on. I feel like we're blessed to have life and to be able to explore this beautiful world that was created for us, and so this gives me an opportunity to do that and not be boxed in while I'm doing it, so I can just appreciate what I'm exposed to. So anyway, yeah, so as far as my rides are concerned, I enjoy back roads, so I'm always on the back roads. I've gotten it up, most of the back roads in North Carolina, 55 miles an hour, but I've had it on the interstate at 70 and make my passes on trucks maybe around 75 miles to 80 miles an hour. Once I'm on the truck, once I'm up on it, I get by it quick, and I get back over, and I get back to a cruising speed that's not violating the traffic laws. So I love the 900 for that. Like, I don't want to hang out in an 18-wheeler's blind spot for more than 2 seconds. I'm trying to get past that truck and get on by, especially if I'm already overtaking it at a cruising speed. So the responsiveness has been great on the top end. I know there's a lot of debate around getting 600s versus 900s and all that jazz. At the end of the day, when I hit that throttle, I'm ready to go. And I want to get past big objects where they don't see me. So trucks and big SUVs with soccer moms and teenagers playing on phones and and things like that. You know, I'm not trying to stay in your blind spot for too long. On the back roads, it handles well. Every blue moon, I've noticed the wheels get a little skippy, but for the most part, everything has been, I feel like I'm in control. I will say this to new riders, whether, you know, Ryker, two-wheel or whatever, you know what your limits are. And it's better to learn on each ride and make your adjustments than to go out and to be full throttle trying to drive at the posted speed limit, and the road conditions just aren't favorable for that. When you're on a bumpy road and your tires are leaving the ground, slow down. Give yourself the opportunity to have control. You're not going to earn any cool points, or you're not going to win an award for being able to maintain the posted speed limit on a bumpy road that's got you jittery and all over the place. So, you know, be safe out there and treat each ride as a learning lesson. Yeah, so other than that, like I said, I've had it on the interstate. It handles fine on the interstate. I know a lot of times I've seen a lot of videos and people are talking about the first thing they did was switched out the end links and the sway bar. I decided not to subscribe to those thoughts immediately. I wanted to ride the bike, get a feel for it, understand how the characteristics are, and I feel perfectly fine driving it on the interstate. What I will say is this, it's different than being in a car. You know, you're in a fixed position, you're kind of like almost in the fetal position, in a crouch position most of the time, unless you extend your pegs out, and you don't, when you're doing 70 miles an hour, what you don't get to do is shift your body weight. You don't get to move your foot to another position when your leg cramps up. You don't really have much opportunity to move your arms around other than leaning forward, leaning backwards. So you're in a fixed position for an extended period of time, and that is when the ride fatigue can possibly kick in. That's the first thing I noticed when I took about a 45 to 50 minute interstate ride to my hometown to visit my family a couple weeks ago. So I definitely encourage people to, you know, take your time getting onto the highway. Definitely make sure that you are taking frequent breaks. And again, know what your limits are. You're not going to earn points because you pushed through and persevered on a ride that potentially puts you, loud truck going by, that potentially puts you at risk or endangers you while you're on your bike. So, you know, like I said, if you feel like you don't got it, pull over. You know, get yourself together, stretch, move your legs around, let your circulation go, and get some blood flow going, and then go back out and do another short run till you get to your destination. So I just want everybody to be safe out there and continue riding. So again, thank you for watching my inaugural video. Not my first annual. First annual is not a thing. Inaugural is. So many more to come. I'm looking forward to it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Give me, you know, let me know what your thoughts are on your Ryker. Don't forget, shoot me some names on Autobots. Cannot be Decepticon names. Got to be Autobots. All right. And maybe somebody's correct, and you know, I'll shout you out, give you a like or something like that. Maybe a follow back or whatever the case may be. And yeah, so look forward to some additional content. I do photography. I do video production. I do music production. So I'm looking at infusing all of that into my channel. So again, you know, it's 1, 2, 3, go, and I'm happy to share this journey with you all. Take care.